We're live.
It's 6 o'clock and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Any public comment on items under the jurisdiction of the board and not on the agenda? Approval of minutes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Canister site personnel updates.
Mr. Chairman, I am losing my Winston Canister site attendant May 1st. And as you guys know, we have had an ongoing ad to run for site attendants that has been going, I believe, since February. And we have 0 applicants coming in, which is going to cause a problem because for the site to be opened, it has to be manned. I appreciate the fact that he gave us a heads up of a month, or roughly a month, but trying to fill those positions is very difficult on the rate of pay that we can afford to pay them, and the qualifications, the people that have good jobs versus the people that are retired and just looking for a little extra income.
Yep.
I'm basically looking for a little input on your guys' side, what you guys are thinking. Right now, the transfer station, we were supposed to have lost our weekend help up there. And we did convince him to stay for Saturdays, and we're covering it with a different site attendant on Sundays. But with that being said, that has put us in an overage in our wages, or our hours, I guess. Correct, Misty? The hours that we had budgeted were over that considerably,
Yeah.
with being the Cedar Street being open 12 hours a day and the transfer station being open 8 hours on the weekends, which previously was not. So that was one of the concessions that was made with the Winston deal. We give them 2 more days, which we knew we were going to get ourselves into trouble. But the rest of this, it's a staffing issue that we can't seem to fulfill, finding help.
Now, what was his last day? When did you say his last
The
day?
Winston,
Yeah.
May 1st.
Okay.
We have posted help wanted signs at Winston, Dry Gulch, and Cedar Street in hopes that the residents will see that and maybe pass on the word, because we know our residents don't want to lose these hours. And so
And
we're
how mu-
hoping that by word of mouth, because it's been posted in the paper, it's been posted online, and there's nothing more my office can do to, you know, reach out other than trying to post these signs now. So we're hoping that we can get some help from residents that see it, that want the sites to remain open.
Is there a Broward County Facebook page?
Not solid waste, no.
It is on the county website.
It is on the county website.
How much we paying him?
1375.
Yeah, 1375.
And how many hours do they typically?
The Winston
right.
site is 20 a
20
week.
hours a week?
Mm-hmm.
Any, how do you give them more money?
The hard part with giving them more money is that it would have to be that way through the whole department, because we can't pay the part-timers that are new more than what we're paying the current people. And unfortunately, we all here know our budget, and there isn't much room for that.
So the other possibility would just leave the gate open on those days, right?
No,
No,
No?
absolutely not.
that's what got us into this problem, is people that weren't paying the assessment coming and dumping, a lot of contractors, and it increases our tipping fees at that point. So that's a lot more than the $13.75 an hour.
Okay.
Your option is reducing the days if we can staff it. Right now, we won't be able to staff it.
Okay.
But leaving the gate open got us to where we were at before we brought the board back together. And I'm not willing to go backwards.
Okay.
And at this juncture, with the way it's going right now, it would be excessively overutilized.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming into summertime.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna get all your campers again.
Yeah.
We cleaned that up last year, which was a work in progress, but it worked well. We didn't see, the Winston site's probably the best it's been and since I've been here, I would say. There's not the trash, there's not the transmissions, the water heaters and stuff thrown out on the ground, the used oil. None of that is there anymore. And I don't want to, I would like to be able to keep it the way it is right now at Winston for sure, just because they've been so good about being receptive to the change that we did make. I know it was hard for them to stomach at first, but I think they've got used to it. I've not heard any complaints.
So
As of late.
if we locked up the gate, put a sign on the gate due to personnel constraints, we don't have anybody that can do this. If they know somebody, we're all ears. You know, you could put some sign on the gate for the people that are using it, maybe to.
So I've got big signs, and I have put them up at Dry Gulch and at Raidersburg before. Site closed due to staffing shortage.
And we do have help wanted signs on the gate right there.
Yeah.
Or in the, did they put them in the shack or on the gate?
They put them on the shack.
Yeah, so they are posted there
And do you-
as of today.
Do you put how much do you get paid? You put the pay on there as well.
It's
and
not
how
on
many
the
hours
sign.
a week?
It's not on the sign.
Because somebody might come up there and say, "Gee, I could probably do that," or maybe could, and you might have to put a little more detail in there what they're going to get and how many hours.
Yeah, we could probably do something like that. What I think is going to happen is if we get somebody, it's going to be from one of those areas, and most of them, the only thing they won't know is the pay. And like I said,
Would there be anything wrong with putting the pay amount on there?
probably not.
I don't see
I don't
anything.
see why there would be a problem
Hours
with
per
that.
week and pay.
To be honest, it's not a selling point, but it's
It's
more
it's
information.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely
And
not.
that's
a
really
selling
what it
point.
comes down to.
Yeah.
Some people might not, I'm not going to bother calling, but if they see it, maybe that'll fill in. They might need a little extra money, and they can
We've
come down
had
there and sit around and do it.
one applicant taken in the last month.
What happened
2
to the
I'd say it's 6 months.
one you had down there at Cedar Street here about a month and a half ago, new employee? Brad?
He was to work at the transfer station, and he did work 2 weeks, but then he found another job.
Are you
So-
talking about a guy that's a contractor in this county?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that didn't work out.
yeah.
We were hoping we would have got a little bit more than 2 weeks out of that situation. But we did not.
Yeah.
Which is why our guy at the transfer station said he'd come back and help us out one day a week.
Right.
The original guy that resigned.
How many days is Dry Gulch open?
2,
2?
Saturday, Sunday.
And the same guy, one guy mans that?
Which we could potentially be losing him at the end of May.
Oh, really?
Yep.
For
We will be
summertime-
losing him the end of May.
For summertime work. He's a high school student right now, so.
So basically, right now, you've got 3 jobs to fill. Dry Gulch, say the 1st of June. Winston, the 2nd or 3rd of May. And the transfer station for the weekends from 10 to 6.
So for the Winston people that use that, the nearest closest place is just go up to the transfer station, right?
or Cedar
Or
Street.
Or
It's
here.
probably closer to go to Cedar Street. But honestly, I don't want to have to get to that point.
Right, right.
I'm hoping. We do have an applicant in, I can honestly say, without interviewing him, I don't know how he would work out. Most people that are laborers think they're worth $40 an hour, and there's not much skill level in this job. It's basically knowing the combination to open the gate and the key to the shack. You dump it here, you dump it here. I'm not trying to demean this by any aspect, but it's not a hard job.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not a physical job.
It's a folding cash job.
Yep. It's pocket change is what it is.
So
Well, I
it
was gonna-
probably would be just some high school kid maybe that might take that, but of course he's in school during the day, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Or some old retired guy.
You know, we hear scuttlebutt that, oh yeah, I'll send them down to get an application. I've heard that. I want to see action. I don't want to lip
Yeah.
service. I want
Yeah.
something to come about with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Can they download an app on,
what's that?
can they download an app on the computer?
On the website, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can make a sign that shows that as well. You know, all the information possible on the gate, because those are the ones that are gonna use it. I mean, nobody's gonna drive from Townsend to Man that up there.
Mm-hmm.
Their gas is not worth, I mean, it's not worth the gas. But if it's somebody local there at Winston, it might.
Yeah. Yeah, that very well could be.
It's a job for Bob.
I'm trying to get one.
Has Bob done cabbing? Let's ask that,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, it's a conundrum.
I was gonna say there could be a rotation, but that's not gonna.
The
with-
trouble with that, Kiff, is the weekends at Winston. So all your outreach sites are open. Your Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday out in Toston and Croker and Raidersburg. Saturday, Sunday in Dry Gulch.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday at Winston. So there's no way to rotate guys out.
No.
No.
You know, especially with 3 people now.
Yeah, and if you start flipping schedules and go say Monday, Wednesday here, and this guy works here, you could do it that way. But what you're going to hear is the site was open the other day. Why is it changing now?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I'm really hoping we can get somebody in, and I think Misty and I'll talk and see if we can interview one guy possibly on Friday for a job.
Can you maybe post that on the Broadwater County Classifieds on Facebook or something too?
I don't
We
know.
can personally, we don't, we're opposed to Broadwater County Facebook page for a variety
Right,
of reasons.
right.
But if anybody wants to personally post it, absolutely.
Like Marketplace or something.
Yeah.
Well, if we do that, we should probably agree on some verbiage and what information we want.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind putting it out there, but I want to make sure says what you guys want it to say.
I
That's a
think
good idea.
I think one of the things Commissioner Randolph said that we could do is we could post it on BCDC because they receive they have a lot of contact list.
It's huge. And they're very generous about sending it out on their email list.
And it's on our page, on the county page. I looked on WeStep today, it's not there.
I think Facebook
Yeah,
Marketplace
it's
would be
been
good.
on there, and they've asked me if I wanted to keep it, and I said to keep it, and so it should still be on there.
I didn't see it today when I looked.
I think your best bet is BCDC email list and Facebook personally.
Yeah. I think the Marketplace is, I
Yeah.
mean, I've sold a lot of stuff on Marketplace
Yeah.
before.
Mhm.
People look at that and it pops up and if they're from Winston, they might think, oh, there's an opportunity down here, make a few bucks.
Mhm.
Whereas they might not go on to the BCDC. I mean, they're not gonna, unless all that's on the sign down there where they dump their garbage in, they could do it, but
I mean, honestly, if we can't staff these and those sites get closed, Cedar Street and the transfer station are your options.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll save some money that way too.
It's possible there's going to be community uproar, I'm
Well,
sure.
there's going to be huge community uproar.
Well, I'm sure there will be, but what are you gonna do if
Yeah.
nobody applies? I mean, it's a problem
Yeah.
everywhere you go. Even restaurants can't find people.
Yeah.
Yeah, without staffing, there's not much you can do.
You know, you can get your guys to work, but all you did, your full-time guys, you could get them to work possibly, but all you did was put them over
Yep.
in your budget more.
Yeah.
So could one take the notification on our website and just put that out there on Marketplace?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the website, there's 3 pages. There's the job description, the application, and then there's another page that has the information on the job as far as like how much it's paid. There's no hours listed on that because every site has different hours.
Right.
But it does have a little paragraph that could be
Okay.
summed up.
So you
Okay.
could put, like for the Winston site, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday in there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, 20
Saturday
hours.
and Sunday.
And Sunday.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday.
And then
Yep.
all 20 hours a week, so they got something to figure out, okay, I can make this much money.
Mhm.
And maybe that just happens to work out for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gross, what, $275 a week or something
Yeah.
like that, roughly.
You know, that's, might be worth it to somebody if they're short on food and they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
About $1,000 a month, or a little better than $1,000 a month, right? $275 a week?
Gross.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be willing to work on something and send it to you for your approval.
Sure.
Okay.
That would be great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing you could do would be to rotate Cedar Street, but then that'd be a scheduling nightmare for the sites themselves. You could say, well, Wednesday Cedar Street's closed this week and Winston's open, but you'd have more conflict with that with,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that as much as we can. Right now, we're making it work, but our next option is running a split shift with the crew to cover the transfer station at least.
Bless you.
Basically work a Monday through Saturday, and Sunday would be covered a different way, but
Yeah.
we could possibly do that. But then we've got Misty come up with a good idea, but we've got to kind of work out a couple of kinks because Monday's one of our busy days, and we just have to figure that part of it out.
At the transfer station?
Yeah, we need to figure out how to split them without giving them a lot of comp time, right? Because that defeats the purpose.
Yep.
And so we just have to figure out how to get them all there on a Monday, so that could help us out in the summer, especially. Wintertime, I think we could have just 2 people up there, but in the summertime,
Yeah.
Mondays are hard days because all the sites are getting weekend traffic, and we have to be able to,
Yep.
pick up those canisters as well as have a truck running to Lewis and Clark County those days.
The biggest thing I can see is I want them on their days off. I want them to be consecutive,
Yep.
and trying to do that with the trucks going to Helena and hauling all the cans, it's very difficult to get that part figured out. Because you get pushback, well, we're busy here, we're busy here, we're busy here.
Yep.
I understand that. That leaves Tuesday, Thursday open. Are you gonna have an employee stick around if he has to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Right,
Probably not.
right. Well, and I mean, ultimately, the two vital parts is Cedar Street and the transfer station.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we've worked really hard as far as getting the residents to follow the rules that we have set forward. And I feel, and I'm not going to speak for TJ or anybody else, but I feel like that it's important that we keep the transfer station some hours on the weekend because of some of the rules that we have
Contractors,
made.
Yep.
And the residents have pretty much done and followed those,
Yep.
you know, and it's taken a year, and I don't want to do a lot of changes anymore
Right.
to them.
Yep. Yep. Well, and with spring approaching, there's going to be
Yeah.
more stuff happening on the weekends.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
It's gonna be busy.
yeah. Yep.
We've noticed in the last couple of weeks, probably it's starting to pick up quite
Yeah.
a bit. You know, Patrick was saying, pay him more money. So the only way that it's even possible, remember we raised our assessment to $265. The only way it would even be possible is your assessment would have to be raised. Mind you, just because you're raising that site attendant, you're gonna be raising everybody else as well.
Yep.
So I don't know that that's the answer. I don't think it is.
No. No.
If we can get to that point, great.
Yep.
We are not at that point right now.
Yep. Because it's fluid across the board.
Well, I think the signs on the gates, marketplace, doing what we're doing, putting it out there, making sure that people that are using that, got all the information. If they don't
Mhm.
like it, find your kid or somebody to go over there and attend that so you can have your garbage dumped.
Mhm.
You know, you might find people come out of the woodwork if they
Yeah.
have a little struggle. Well, I don't want to drive clear to Townsend all the time to dump my garbage.
Mhm.
They might decide, well, old Joe over here might want some extra money.
Yeah, you know, if we can figure out how to make it work through the summer, I'll make a suggestion that our hours in the wintertime possibly change. A lot of it to daylight hours, but maybe reduce, cut back a little bit, because we are wasting time with our site attendants
Yep.
in the transition from winter to summer. We're paying them a lot for nothing, or not paying them a lot. We're paying them for nothing.
Yeah.
Basically, that they're not having any interaction with the public.
Right.
Yep.
Another thought I just had was, can you put the job applications on the gate in one of those, like the realtors put those,
Oh, yeah, like the
put
realtor
those,
signs.
their brochures in there, like
You
in
mean
front
like
of
a
the house?
realtor sign kind of thing?
Yeah, just stick applications in there. Maybe somebody will just say, oh, yeah, I could do that, fill it out and send it to you.
No, I could probably give them to the site
Site
attendants and give them,
attendant.
put them in their
We can do
shacks,
that.
possibly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think I would put them on the gates.
Well, I mean, if the gate's closed,
Yeah,
then they can get their application. If they don't like the fact that the gate's closed, maybe they could find somebody they could give the application to. Well, that was just a thought I had, that, make it as painless as possible for them to get that paperwork to you.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Facebook thing, because I hate getting on the computer, so I never see any of that. I don't buy the paper anymore. And I think literally everybody in the free world has Facebook, so.
Except for
maybe-
TJ.
Except for teaching.
You have the
And you-
you have the
No, I got
equivalent. It's
Facebook.
called golf.
But I'm just saying.
That's
there's a lot of
true.
old people
Yeah.
that don't even go
Yeah.
on the computer either.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
if they gotta dump their garbage, they're the one that's gonna be available. Some old guy. that might want some extra money and they don't go on Facebook. And they don't want to go through all that bullshit. It's too much hassle for them just to figure out how to type some of them.
Yeah.
It's going to take somebody like that say, hey, I could pick up maybe $1,000 or so a month. And that's why I say there's the old school people that are,
Well, keep it under their social security income amount
Right.
that they can earn,
well,
so.
yeah. But I mean, I do think that putting the application out there close handy when the gate's closed, because otherwise they're just going to bitch and moan and leave. But if they see an application there, they might say, hey, if that's all it takes is to open this gate, well, I could come down here and do this for a while. Just a thought.
I mean, we kind of knew, since I've been in here, there has been 4 that I can think of right off the top of my head, and 5 in the last 2 years that have quit. They're not here very long. And it's kind of one of those jobs you're kind of expecting it, but it's
Yeah.
a little bit harder to fill than a driving job or something where you're going to get steady hours, insurance, be home every night, that kind of thing. So it's a little bit tough, I guess.
Right, right. The positive side to it is it's not strenuous, mentally maybe, but physically not.
I would think most of the mental stability should be fairly easy now
Yep.
because, knock on wood, I think we've taken most of the lumps and bumps that we should be taking from now on.
Yep,
I understand when we made the changes we did, we were going to get some backlash from it. We did, and we handled it. So
yep.
let's move on and see if we can get some people to work for us.
What's the hours that the gates open anyhow currently?
Tuesday, Thursday is 1 to 5 for summer hours, and Saturday, Sunday is 9 to 3. Here comes sunshine.
Yeah, on
9 to
April
3?
Are you busy selling
on April
flowers?
15th though, that's when on April 15th is when they go to 2 to 6
Okay.
on
Welcome.
Tuesday, Thursday.
So
Welcome.
all that information.
Everybody welcome him.
You must Mr. Flight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. What's that?
A clock, you should get
It's a
one.
clock.
On your packet in front of you, see the name? Yours is to the next side. Yeah. There you
That's
go.
Doug.
Yep, that's yours. Yeah, good.
So Eric, to give you a little recap, we were talking about our outreach canister sites right now. We're having trouble staffing them. We've got one guy quitting effective May 1st. Our Dry Gulch site, the end of school. So probably, I don't know what day school gets out, June, something I think
June
early
1st.
this year.
June,
Something.
And
Yeah.
our transfer station, our guy quit for the weekend, but we did get him to come back for one day. So we're trying to shuffle stuff around and get people to come in. Our other option is closing the sites and everybody goes Cedar Street. That's going to be something I really am not interested in doing. But that's what we're talking about right now.
Just what our goal was in the first
But I
place,
think
right?
if any site
Well,
hours
if
have
can't
to be
get
reduced
staff
or
to do it,
sites
I know.
closed
it's,
because
Takes
we
care of
don't
two
have
problems,
staff,
yep.
that's easier for the public to understand. It's not a decision we've made,
Truth.
you know, everybody knows what the employment situation is.
You know, the Dry Gulch one, we've closed it twice. And the people that were out there, this kind of blew me away, didn't know that there was a transfer station in town. They drive to town every day, but they didn't know. I'm like, all right, well, apparently you haven't been here in the last 30 years, so
Yep.
they get accustomed to a pattern and they want to stick with
Yep.
it. Like Debbie was saying, if it does happen, your hours are going to get reduced to 1 day a week, probably at Dry Gulch. 2 to 3 days at Winston, if we can staff it. Same with Toston and Radersburg. Cedar Street and the transfer station are your main hubs where most of the garbage has to go. With everything being said, as far as no trailers at any of these sites, That is the only place that can take your garbage, and it is open 7 days a week.
Maybe we need to put something in the newspaper saying, last chance, on a job, otherwise we're shutting them down.
We could do a press release.
I think you probably announce it, and if there's no takers, you close it.
Well, I feel like we need to give what we're doing now a chance. We posted some help wanted signs out at the Dry Gulch at Winston. See what we get for takers. Obviously not if we don't have some in a couple weeks, we need to look at another option, which I'm not disagreeing with you. But I feel like if we give the residents some time to get the word out that, hey, because our site attendant at Winston is there till May 1st. So we have some time to get some word out, and then at that point, if we're still really struggling, maybe be prepared with a press release.
And if some of us put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think you
We've
could.
never tried that, so we don't know the results.
Yeah.
I think you could
Those
run a
would be
press
also
release in
social
a week.
Well, I think there's like 100 people that buy the newspaper. And out of those 100, about 10 of them actually look through the whole thing.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of people see stuff about solid waste on Facebook.
Yes.
We see that.
Yep.
We get beat up there all the time. So,
That's very
Put
true.
it in that local paper.
yeah, it's in the local paper.
There's
And it
just
has been.
No results.
Yeah.
No results.
Yeah, we're getting nowhere
No.
with that.
It's time to consolidate.
We need to tailor it to the specific type of person that this job is going to be great for, and that's going to be a retired person.
That's exactly what I was gonna think of, retiree.
And I still.
Put help wanted signs up at the,
Flower shop.
right.
Thank you, Eric. That's great.
We put help wanted signs at Winston, Dry Gulch, and Cedar Street. We did that today.
For those of you who constantly complain about our service, why don't you come work for us?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a great
Yeah.
selling point.
Put up or shut up.
It's a great selling point. I mean, like I said, I don't want to see a change happen to these sites because they've been very good.
Yeah.
I would like to see we keep running the way we are.
I
Don't
agree.
wrinkle your nose. They'll stay that way.
And I
Give it a
guess
chance first.
If you can get if you can get one applicant that would be willing, that might be a little bit more centrally located, maybe day or two up at Winston and a day or two at Dry Gulch.
Yeah, you could do Tuesday, Thursday in Winston and Saturday, Sunday in Dry Gulch. But then you still got to staff Saturday, Sunday in Winston. That's busy on the weekends.
You know what I think the biggest problem is? These guys deal with so much garbage up there from people complaining and everything. People don't want to deal with it.
I think it's getting better, like TJ said.
It is better.
I think the wave hit and now it's calmed
Yeah.
just because people now know this is
Yeah, they got used to it.
the way
It's
it's
the norm.
rolling. So I think most of the grief is gone. You're always going to get that one person,
Yeah.
but
Well, the trouble we had in Winston, that gentleman no longer works for us, and we put a guy up there that doesn't take any guff off anybody. He was kind of an enforcer, and he completely changed that side around. And since then, since we have left him, we've had 2 other site attendants that have been in there and have quit. With our current one being the second, of course.
But I don't think they quit because of the people.
No, I don't think so. Not because of the residents, no.
Right.
well, I guess we will just have to readdress it.
We may have to have a special meeting in 2 weeks.
We may.
Absolutely.
You may have to stay after class
Somebody may
today.
have to call and remind me.
Pick you up.
Yeah, exactly.
Me too. Yeah.
So if we put
Yeah.
something on Facebook, put something at the sites, see where we're at. Hopefully we can get some participation.
And
I
that
think-
BCDC email list.
BCDC
Because a lot
email
of
list.
older retired get that.
Mhm.
You know, they may not be on Facebook or social media, but they
Right,
get that BCDC email. sent
Okay.
to them.
yeah.
You know, I probably get older. I probably get 4 a week, or 3 a week.
Oh,
from
really?
BCDC, about
Okay.
community events or whatever. They're very generous about it.
So as soon as Lisa and I have a chance to work together and get that out, I'll email it to all of the board members as well. Those of you that do have some social media, I'll get it out to BCDC.
Okay.
And anybody else?
I'll probably, you're in the office on Thursday, right?
Yep.
I'll probably work on it Thursday,
Okay.
definitely. Tomorrow's kind of busy, but I should have it banged out by Thursday and just email it to you? Is
Yeah.
that best? Okay.
Yeah, we have a couple meetings on Thursday. Our
Yeah.
our afternoon's a little full, but I'll still.
You have a
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try to get it
Email
to you. in the
me.
We got
morning.
a
Okay.
10 o'clock.
I mean, I'll work on it tomorrow,
10
but
o'clock?
Okay.
Rotary?
Moving forward.
Absolutely. Discussion on classifications of business assessments.
So what you guys have in front of you now is the changes that were discussed at the working meeting.
The one that has red on it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I updated stuff that we talked about at the working meeting into these 2 documents. There's a couple things that are highlighted in red that I was unsure about because they were discussed in both working meetings, but they had different numbers with them.
2 o'clock,
So
maybe.
we need to talk about those. On the 4th page for 4 units and 6 units, those are in red because they relate to number 4. And then questions on the line plant. So we're getting closer to getting this finished, but there's still some questions.
So remember that we've got till, I think it's September 1st to have this completed, but that being said, we also are going to have to send out a mailer to these businesses so we can kind of get ahead of this and they can kind of prepare for it. And we have to have 2 public meetings, not hearings, with the commission. And then on the second time, they get to make a discussion decision as far as implementing this, correct? We actually have a 2 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, or 2 o'clock and a 9 o'clock.
What was a bar and a restaurant to be in charge before?
we don't have them separated, but I have on one meeting that we wanted to do 4 and 4, which gave 8. And you can see there's 6 in front of the 8. There was another discussion of bar 3, restaurant 3, with a total of, if they were combined, a total of 6. So that was
The number 7,
yeah.
that
The-
wording in there.
The state of Montana.
Yeah, is it just a fishing access site or fishing camping access? Because like
That's a good question.
out here at the ponds, that's fishing camping. York Island's fishing camping. And a half of an assessment is extremely low because you get passerbyers there that are using garbage, you get campers that are using garbage.
How would you reword that, Kip? Fishing and camping site access?
Yeah, if it was just a fishing access site, I could see the half assessment being
Right.
fine, because there's no camping.
We
I've
do the
never
camp, you do
seen
the
it.
Forest Service campground, one assessment per parcel, just fishing access only is one thing, and then the campsites are,
Well, like this out here by the ponds is not Forest Service, York Island's not.
no, I just take the Forest Service part out.
Oh,
Yeah. yeah.
well, no, because you got Forest Service camping up, Deep Creek.
Deep Creek.
Holloway, or not Holloway, North Fork.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is you just do the same thing for just regular campgrounds.
Yeah, I think what Eric's trying to say is instead of
Mhm.
separating.
another one.
Yeah,
Make another
just
one.
have it
campground.
just
Yeah.
campground instead of deciphering Forest Service versus state of Montana.
Organized campgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
good,
they're
that's
all
a
Is
good.
that
good.
number 9?
It's-
Or is that
it's-
different?
See, it's 8 and 9.
So commercial campgrounds would be like
Okay.
your KOA
Yeah,
stuff,
okay,
your
I gotcha.
stuff down there at the silos. Stuff that they're charging for.
I guess I never noticed, is there garbage cans at fishing access site?
There is out here at the ponds, I know for sure.
York
Mhm.
Island does too.
Well, that's because it's camping, but York Island's got a garbage can down there? Well, they camp there too, though.
Yeah.
But I'm saying just a flat fishing access, I don't recall seeing garbage cans.
Some do, some don't. I've seen several of them that don't have any garbage cans.
So in that case, they shouldn't be charged, right?
Well, I don't think there's any in Broadwater County.
So maybe you could eliminate number 7.
Well, there's 2 in Broadwater County that you have to have that for.
Well, are you talking about over here by the Indian Creek
The ponds
and the fishing access?
and York Island.
Yeah, but that's considered a campground, not
Not
just a
a-
fishing
It's
access.
actually, theoretically, it's both. It's fishing access from the state of Montana, and it's a campground.
Is it possible in here, because these questions are gonna come up, to name them?
I think so.
York Island,
Yep.
Good
so
idea.
there's not the confusion that we're discussing.
Yeah, maybe that's the best way to do it, just.
I know that's more work.
Yeah,
But is a half assessment enough?
Not if it's a fishing camping,
That's what I
no.
was thinking too.
No.
no, I agree with that.
And there is no garbage cans out at Confederate.
I will volunteer one day to drive around and check out the sites.
I'll go with you.
Okay. Thank you, Randy.
Oh, I want to go on that ride too.
I
We'll
need
take
somebody
his
who knows
fishing
where they all
rod
are.
I mean, I will do what I have to do.
Yeah, it's business, you know.
Yeah, right.
You gonna call shotgun?
Yeah. I like to drive that.
All right, I'll let you. Can we look at number 19? I think we should go to 50% disabled on that.
Why, because you're 50% disabled?
Oh, God.
Is that what you're trying to pull? Please disregard that, Mr. Chair.
49.98.
I'll put that in the minutes.
Hey, 50%, you gotta get all kinds of benefits of 50%.
You know how many people would be given free things to here?
On the serious note, I did have a question about, so, where did I see the hospital? Yeah, we're only charging 3 units in the
What
hospital?
Number
No.
20.
Number 20 is the hospital. Which one are you looking
I was
at?
looking at.
You're
this
looking at
here.
this one?
Yeah.
Which page, Eric?
Last page.
Yeah. Where it says.
That's per
That's
bed.
per bed
Hospital
per
per bed.
employee.
And
Oh,
that's
per
where
bed
we,
employee.
between the 2 meetings, that was another confusion that I missed, that turning red, sorry. I wasn't sure if we were gonna just give them a set amount or if we were gonna base it off of beds, employees.
I'd just say set amount, my own feeling.
I think your number 20 is way
Do
better
20?
than that.
I think
Because
so.
right now,
Okay.
they're getting one for their hospital and one for their other building that used to be there.
Are we gonna do the same then with nursing homes?
I think on nursing homes, we did,
It's under
Per-
3 units.
per bed. Yeah. I don't remember what we decided on that. Was 1 for 5 or something like that? Is that right? Does that sound right?
That's
1
why
for
I have
3?
it per bed still, because I
On-
didn't have it down
On
anywhere.
nursing homes?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was too.
Per bed,
Per 5?
Per 5, 1 for 5.
yes. That's what my notes say.
Mhm.
So are we gonna keep that, or are we gonna,
So would we get, I guess my whole point is that with the hospital being part of a nursing home, are we gonna get questioned on that? So that's,
I think the hospital's a complete different
okay.
than an actual nursing home. I mean, yes, there is 13 beds over there
Yeah,
in the nursing home, but there's also the nursing home on the hill. There's one out here at Silver Springs.
so this hospital then would get 10 assessments plus
No,
one
it's
for
its
3?
own.
no, it would be taken
If you look
off
at
that
number
one.
20,
Okay,
it just
Yeah.
says 10 assessments.
Yeah, it would be taken off the 3 units. It was supposed to be highlighted in red, because that was my
Okay,
question.
so
Do we
just
keep it?
scrap-
Yeah,
scratch that,
yeah.
okay.
Did the mini storage get changed?
We did change it up to from 0 to 50 to 0 to 100, just because of the fact that we have not seen anything come in from there to speak of. If they do get cleaned out, they most likely have an assessment. Where we are not tracking the garbage that goes in there, I can't justify that.
Yep.
So the meeting that working meeting that you were not attending at, we actually discussed that. And the consensus was go from 0 to 100. Not to throw anybody under the bus, Kif, but that's what we did.
Yeah, I can't remember where I was.
I know, I called you.
Yeah. Where you at? I figured that was a really good day to work really late. What are you calling me for? Oh, yes. It is Tuesday. I thought it was Sunday, but
So
Well,
I
if
told
you
you
go
guys.
to church, you wouldn't have thought that. I'm just saying. Just kidding.
so
Just kidding.
absolutely, absolutely.
Creek Pizza would be considered a restaurant, they're gonna just get hit with 4, right?
Correct.
But
Yep.
if they got apartments above there, each individual,
Each apartment's gonna get dinged.
Yeah.
okay.
And D Crick Pizza doesn't own that building, so it would be on the building.
Oh, okay. Well, they'll have to pass that down to them.
They'll
then.
pass it
Correct.
on.
And as far as, say, the Mint, they got a bar and a restaurant, they're gonna get hit with 8, right?
And they got apartments
They got
upstairs
apartments
too.
above.
Oh, yeah, plus the apartments on top.
So that's what we gotta decide. Are we doing the 8 or do we wanna do the 6? Because then, like, your Deep Creek would have either 4 or 3. That's why it's highlighted, because on this one, we have them under, it's highlighted 4 units, but I have in notes that we have talked about this. 1 was decided 3, 1 was decided 4, so I just need to know the clarification on which direction you guys wanna go. Cause I was confused on
Oh,
which number to put there.
on the restaurant and cafes
Yeah.
and the bars.
Is everybody okay with it being 4? Should we talk about it being 3?
I think that sounds reasonable to me.
4? Okay.
I mean, they probably do have a lot of garbage. They got a lot of food coming in all the time. And glass bar, you know, the bar, they're gonna have bottles and stuff.
I thought we had talked about differentiating between small and large retail shops. Did that go away or just?
That's kind of why we've got this one as well, to kind of compare to it.
Well, that's what I was
So your
looking
flower
at.
shop would be like 6.
I have 8.
Ay, ay, ay.
When we combine both of these together, That's why these 1 unit, 2 units, 3, 4, 5, and so on are on there. So that goes your small, medium, and large is what it's
Oh,
doing.
gotcha.
I mean, we cut down quite a few out of here, because this one, the 1 unit to 6 units, that was taken from Granite County to look at their stuff. To me, that one was more clear as far as defining how it needs to be. This other one was ours and Jefferson County's, trying to mesh this stuff together. Something like size, I guess, in comparison, that operates the same way as we do, where they have don't have a landfill, and every one of these have to haul their garbage. So we're trying to find a common ground that's fair for everybody.
Well, for the, where you got 6 units back here, you got bar restaurant combinations.
That's
Right,
in red.
that
And
will,
you got 8 assessments on number 4.
that was my question, so that it'll come off that 6 units one on the back, and we'll do the
So
4,
Are we gonna scratch this?
yes,
Yep.
yes. I did just notice, on page 1, numbers 9 and 10, they're the same, only, again, we discussed if it was 4 spaces or 5 spaces, so one of those needs to come out. I just need to know which one.
Which one? 9 and 10?
9 and 11, sorry. 9 and 11 are the same. One just says per 4 spaces, the other says per 5 spaces.
Oh, okay.
I would say get rid of number 9. It would be my suggestion.
Get rid of 9. I thought that's we might
Okay.
be leaning.
What do you guys think of that?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is to try to wrap this up so we can get it all consolidated, so we can get it out to the public, let them have their say. If they want to protest, they can protest, give us their concerns, but I want this out well in advance before this hits their tax rolls. That they're not going to get blindsided by it.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing in here on 5 units, is that right?
We have not,
Unless we decide to adjust something.
correct.
And honestly, if somebody wants to protest, I think they come before the Solid Waste Board. Solid Waste Board makes a recommendation as far as how they want to handle it, and then we go from there. I don't believe the commission has any jurisdiction over that part of it. It would be notified to the commission, but that part would be up to the Solid Waste Advisory Board. So
So
when you
in
come
other
in
words,
and
you want
ask
us to
for a
be the bad guys.
reduction, you're.
We'll just
no.
blame it on the county
Second
council.
that.
I can see what that's going on in that head of yours. Leave it up to the suckers.
So do we need to make a motion on this?
We can't
We
motion
cannot make a
tonight.
motion.
It's just discussion tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you guys need, Misty, to revise this, look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but I do think it's important that we get all this interaction so when we sit down and lay this in front of you through the resolution, this is what's going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel we're close. We're getting really close.
We better be.
I
We've
think
been
so
working
too.
on it a
Yeah,
long time.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Looks good to me. I mean, there may be some adjustments next year or the year after.
Yeah,
You don't know until you start really dialing in some of this garbage that comes in and people complaining. But, so I think we're good.
Misty, and TJ, I have a question on number 15. I know we've gone round and round about this one.
Mm-hmm.
But it says we'll be charged 6, but then it says 3.
Oh, that's just my error.
No, but which one is it?
It's 3,
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
because we talked about
Well, I
that
know we've
last
talked
time.
about it
Yeah.
so many times.
damn proofreaders.
I know, but that's my role. I think, as TJ said, it's really important we put something in the paper. I would like us to get a letter to as many businesses as we can. This is gonna cause some phone calls to us, to TJ.
It is, but honestly, the way I'm gonna handle it is they're not paying it.
Right.
They're gonna
Right.
pass it on to their customers. And the people that don't pass it on to their customers, that's poor business. Quite frankly, that's just how life works.
Yeah.
If you don't pass it on to them, you don't stay in business either.
You talking about 15? Yeah. Yep. And honestly, some of the prices that some of those people charge,
Oh my, no kidding.
there's enough in there to pay the year for everybody.
So you weren't here at the working meeting, I'm gonna throw that back out there. But one of the event centers or wedding venues, we actually looked it up online. The most expensive one in Broadwater County that is about 7 miles from here is $35,000
Yeah,
for the
they-
weekend.
They have 3 different tiers, and it starts at 9,000. The next tier is 22,000, and the top tier is 35,000.
I don't think 3 assessments is out of line.
Is that
No.
like caviar included too?
No.
And-
Do
No.
they base that
That's
on the
just-
number of people coming to it, or is that just
We don't
I don't
know
know.
because there's not a lot of.
I think maybe you get the
Extra stuff.
venue a little bit longer, maybe from Thursday to Sunday or Thursday
Yeah.
to Saturday night or something like that.
And I think you get some maybe staffing help, but you still provide. If you want a bar, you still provide the bar. If you want food, you still provide the food.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing
It's
special.
$35,000 just
Yeah.
for the room.
Basically, yeah,
Wow.
for the
Miss,
land.
I
Yeah,
suggest
Boy, we all
the
missed the boat, didn't we?
solid waste board use some ground around here and start doing wedding
Right.
venues.
I need to put a barn up quick.
Well, the county's actually got a bunch of ground out here. They're in the,
Yeah. Yep.
let's just build a big pole barn, we'll call it good.
Yep.
We'll fund the whole county. Thanks, Solid Waste.
Uh-huh.
Do you want us to staff it? You gotta give it comp time or something like that.
That might be more of a problem, the staffing.
Well, then you can afford to pay a little bit higher wage.
We could pay it a little bit higher
Yep.
wage.
Yeah, true.
Do you guys see anything else on here that you wanna discuss?
No, I'd say print that bad boy up, let's prove it, get it down the road. I think we've been working on this for like 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we started from nothing. So,
we did.
really,
The advisory board in the past, some of these businesses around here, tire shop used to have like 10 assessments. When the tire shop went out of business, they took it down to like 1 or 2. That went before the board. The commercial bar used to have 14, and it is down to 6 or 8,
Yeah,
I think.
I can't off the top of my head. I can't remember.
So I mean, this isn't a new thing coming into Townsend. The businesses are well aware of what has happened
Yep.
in the past and what's currently happening. We've been discussing this, like you said, for 6 months. It's not a secret what we're doing.
What does tire shops do with their tires? Do they recycle and send them off someplace? We
Yep.
don't get that up there, do
Yep,
we? Do we?
I charge them for every tire that comes in there.
And then you guys have them recycled?
We have a tire pit that we have a land farm permit for those tires that we have to bury. It's a permit through DEQ. They come in and inspect our site, and
So they bury it?
we bury it, and all the concrete that we take in, that we charge people for, is actually used to cover those tires. Because if you don't cover them, they'll pop up to the top.
But why can't they recycle that?
They can, just not here.
Oh, so nobody will come and pick all that stuff up, huh? So all these
Not-
tire shops, like over here, Casey's or
Yep.
Bobby's,
Bobby brings them up.
I wasn't aware of that. Because some places like they shred them and turn them into the rugs and all kinds of stuff.
But the problem with that is they want us to pay them to take it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
Like
right?
recycling, it's hard to recycle because any of the recycling, they want us to pay for them to take it to recycle.
You know,
And we just don't have the
Yeah,
budget to do that.
recycling's a
Forget
warm
that.
and fuzzy. You'll never make money on.
You never make money. Gallatin County doesn't make money off of
Neither does Lewis and
recycling.
Clark.
But it's the warm and fuzzy that people
Mhm.
want.
Yeah.
If people want us to recycle here other than metal and cans, I'm going to charge it.
The difference,
I won't lose money on it.
Yep.
the difference between those two counties and us in the middle of
Oh,
them
yeah.
is the population base.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, they have that population to get that extra money to afford the loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We can't.
I mean, the cardboard, we were losing money on.
Yeah.
The paper, we were losing money on. The guy would come in, he charged us $175 a month to come in and pick up the paper. He would take the top off every one of the cans like that and leave all the rest of it. And he would sell it. So he was making money off of Broadwater County. Then he was turning around and selling it to the recycler center and making money. He's the only person that was making money, not us. To me, that was pointless. So I'm like, dumb.
Yeah.
Granted, it was $175, but in the situation we were in when we started, we were looking to cut corners wherever we could
Yeah.
or make cuts to try to bring this more into check. Would I
So-
like to recycle? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Helena would be the same way. They just
They
bury
lose
that-
over $1 million a year in recycling.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
You can
So
get
do
on their
they-
webpage and look at their financials, and it's over $1 million.
So they do recycle the rubber, and they have
We
to
don't,
pay
I
to
don't know
do it.
about the tires.
No, I don't know that they do tires.
Yeah.
No, I think those go right straight to Great Falls when they get a 53-foot trailer full, and they get charged for them when they go to Great Falls.
Mhm.
I see. Hmm. Interesting.
So TJ, going back to the schedule, the next meeting, the regular scheduled meeting will be May 13th. So you want this reviewed
I would like to
and
read.
decided?
Yeah, I would actually probably like to have a working meeting in a couple weeks. And once we get this done, and kind of look at it and then put it on there, you know, even if we have 3 of you guys to look at it, kind of review of it, that'd be fine. But when we have our next meeting, hopefully the whole board will be here. The recommendation would go out. We would have our 2 weeks, so you're looking at the end of May, so you're Memorial Day, so probably the first part of June would be, best case scenario, to be in front of the commission. And then you have 2 public meetings. So say by the fiscal year, let's say, you've got July, August, September. That gives the people 3 months or two and some change,
Well, it has to be
September 1st.
before, right, that's their date.
Yeah,
So
So,
Department of Revenue.
but that gives the people, the
Yeah.
businesses, 2 months
yeah.
to make their comments
Adjust.
in public meetings and adjust, as you said, yeah.
Wait, now you guys confuse me. When would the commission make our decision?
You will see this the end of May.
Yeah,
Hold
because
on.
if we have a working meeting on the 22nd or thereabout.
Yeah, and that's the date that the room is available, is
Oh,
the 22nd.
Perfect, okay.
So,
Hold on.
So then we could approve it at our following meeting, or approve it at that working meeting if we want to, can we?
At
it
the
can't be
13th.
approved at
You-
working
Okay.
meetings, but if it's a special meeting, we
You
can,
can,
right?
yeah, you can have a special
We
meeting.
can just have a special meeting.
So
What's the 22nd? What day is that?
It's a Tuesday.
it's a Tuesday.
That's the day after Easter Monday.
That's Earth Day.
That's perfect day, that's perfect day to meet.
I might not be here.
Okay.
I'm probably getting back. I'm probably in Pensacola, I think. I'll come back, I think that day.
Okay, so if we can do it the 22nd,
Solid waste working meeting.
solid waste working
Okay.
meeting, and have this done. If it goes anywhere between the 22nd and the 6th of May, it can be on your solid waste actual meeting on the 13th. The commissioners could actually see it on the 14th, correct? Give the public 2 weeks to complain or protest, and if the commission has a commission meeting on the 28th, there's your 2 weeks. So it could actually be done by the 1st of June.
Which wasn't that kind of the goal anyway?
Yeah.
That was,
That's what I
that was the
thought.
goal
Like,
originally,
like I
yeah.
said, June to work,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
a week or two ahead. So
Yep.
We've got some wiggle room.
Okay, so go back, I'm trying to write this down. So working meeting April 22nd,
Yep,
decision on May 13th,
yep, from the solid waste board.
right? Commission,
The 14th,
Just discussion.
discussion with a public meeting. It will have to be posted the 30th of April,
Mhm.
right? It has to be posted for 2 weeks before,
Before we make a decision.
so
just before you make a decision.
so that would be the 2nd of May that it would hit the paper.
Yep.
That's, okay.
So then it would be in front of the commission the 14th. They could do their D&D on the 28th of May.
Let's make that our goal, and we have a little bit of wiggle room.
What I'd really like to do is
Okay.
I'd love to have this off of our plate going into summer.
Yeah, yeah.
And our
Yeah.
staffing issues off of our plate going into summer.
Yeah.
All right. Next meeting, May 13th at 6 o'clock.
Actually, yeah, regular meeting.
Regular meeting.
Regular meeting, yeah.
Well, we don't distinguish regular, all we do is special. Meeting adjourned.